Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com and I am here to bring you a live paper crafting class. We're going to have fun today. We have lots of new goodies to show at the end of this video, so make sure that you're hanging in there the whole time. I'm going to try to whisk through my card today, so I'm going to still give lots of good tips hopefully, but but we're going to go through it a little bit faster. I have one card to share with you. It's a fun fold card. It's called a diagonal joy fold card. But let me just first start out by saying it is Wednesday, November 17th, 2021, as I am broadcasting to you live. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you are watching a live, you can tune in to your Google account, your YouTube account, and you can actually chime in to the comments that are being shared by everyone else. A big welcome to Trisha from Wichita, Kansas, who is new for the first time watching live, and anyone else. I did not read all the comments, but I caught hers, and I want to welcome her and anyone else who is tuning in live for the first time. Also, welcome back to all of you who come back every week or at least every once in a while. I am so grateful for all of you. It makes it more fun for me to see comments rolling in, and then I get to read them later. On that note, comments. I have had a very busy past 7 days. My son had another concert, and we had on stage, we have a sale going on. Lots of things are happening, and at least in my little world. And so I read the comments, but I didn't have the opportunity to take the time to do screenshots of them. So, and it looks like Trisha took care of answering most everyone's questions. If I missed something, please let me know in this video by commenting either after the live or during the live. And on that note, let's welcome Trisha Josephs back again. She is our moderator. She's the gal who's got her name a little bit different in the rest of the live comments. She has a wrench symbol next to her name so that you can see that she stands out. She is the one to tag if you have questions or you need help immediately or something like that. The way that you tag her is you put the @ sign, the A with the circle around it, and then start typing her name. And you have to spell it correctly, Tricia. Trisha Joseph should come up. You can click on her name and then it will tag her. It will just make it more prominent for her to see, and she'll be able to answer your questions. But make sure you're reading her comments because she gives some helpful things to note along the way. If you are commenting, you get entered into the live prize drawing. We do 2 prizes at the end of every video. And then after the live, if you've commented within the week, so by the time we do the next live next week, you get entered into a separate prize drawing for the after live comments. So we do 3 prizes for every video. We'll draw those towards the end. And I think that's it for our housekeeping. What am I going to share today? It's called a Diagonal Joy Fold card. It's using the Poinsettia Petals stamp set and the Poinsettia dies. And these are products that are not new. I know, you're right. Like, what? Rachel's not using things that are like in the latest mini catalog? No, we went back to the annual catalog, and these products have been around for a while, but they're just gorgeous and stunning, and they needed to be used. I fell in love with these products when my sister demonstrator, Anita Dixon, did a little demonstration of them for one of our events a couple years ago, and she just blew me away with what she created. And so I wanted to dive into this product again and show you this pretty card with a fold that I learned from my upline. So yes, everything's all about Stampin' Up! Family today. My upline, Susan Campfield, brought this fun fold to my attention when we did the onstage event this past weekend. She led her group, which included me and my people. I shouldn't say gals, we have guys in our group too. Me and my people into this fun fold card event. We did a Zoom, so anybody who was attending the onstage event, we got make and take materials in the mail, and we got to make a card similar to well, it's not this card, but I'll show you that one. But anyways, the fold is where I got the idea from. You can see we've got the measurements and the supplies listed there. You may certainly take a screenshot of this if you'd like to, but there is a link to my blog post, which will go live in little over an hour at 12:15 Central Time. So you can actually click on that link in the description of this video after that time, and you'll be able to download this one-page sheet, which has the title, the date, an image of what I'm going to create today, and the supplies and measurements, as you can see. I apologize for no metric this time. Again, you know, it takes some extra time, and it was a crazy past 7 days, so I didn't get to it. My heart was in it though. I wanted to. This one actually would be pretty easily adaptable to a metric A4 cardstock size though, so you could probably play around with it and get the measurements pretty darn accurate. But maybe I can do that in a future post. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have some, in the Pool Party cardstock, I'm going to walk you through that step. It says then diagonal cut the front, and I'm going to do that for you so that you can see that, but it doesn't really explain well in the measurements how to do that. And what else do I want to say? I think that's it. Nothing like new or well, there is stuff on special. Okay, so what's another reason why I'm sharing this card? I'm sharing this card today because I also got inspired by the special that's going on. It's called the seasonal sale, and it started yesterday, it's happening today, and we have one more day tomorrow. So I tried to focus in on one of my favorite sets of dies, because the dies are on special. They're 20% off right now, the dies from the annual catalog. And then I also brought in cardstock and ink colors and tried to make my own little designer paper. You can see there's a little bit of speckle. Hopefully you can see that. There's some speckle from the Wink of Stella in there. In fact, let's do this. Let's zoom in so we can keep the card a little bit lower towards the light. Then maybe you can see some of the speckle. But I've got some Wink of Stella like we did last week. I've even got it on the Cherry Cobbler cardstock. So basic cardstock colors, like the colors that are in the families, the variety packs. Then we've got all the Stampin', the classic ink pads. So no non-Stampin' Up! Brands, I should say, but the Stampin' Up! Classic pads are on special. And then we have, of course, the dies from the annual catalog. So let me try to remember. One's 10% off, one's 20% off, and one's 15% off. So I'm going to move this out of the way because we don't need that anymore. And Rachel's going to go to her resource. Oh my gosh, Rachel, why didn't you have that ready? I don't know. Somebody's going to call it out, I'm sure. So I will log my comments on here too, just in case you're faster than me. I'm almost there. Here it is. 10% off cardstock, 15% off ink pads. Great time to, get your ink collection built up, and then 20% off dies. All right, so let us dive in. Let's bring in our base cardstock, which I try to cut for you on the video every time, because that way anyone who's new to paper crafting can hopefully feel comfortable with using the trimmer for the first time. This is our Stampin' Trimmer. It's awesome. It's the best one out there, I believe. That's my thoughts. This is our 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so our basic cardstock for making cards. If you take and you cut this in half, you get 2 separate card bases. We're going to score first so that we can get 2 card bases from one sheet. So we're going to score right through the middle at 5.5. So this is the 11.5 direction. And we're going to go ahead and make sure it's locked down there. And we're going to put a score line through there. That's the light blade. Then we're going to bring this edge to the 4.25 inch mark. And we're going to cut. So this is how you can get 2 card bases easily from one sheet of our 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So beginners, hang in there because there is some die cutting in here, but once you see the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and how it works with dies, and then, you got to watch other videos for how it works with embossing folders, you're going to fall in love, and then you might just kind of immerse yourself in the fun like the rest of us have done. So here we've got our score line in there. It's a nice crease. Before we actually fold the card completely though, like this, we want to put a diagonal cut through here. So we're going to cut out a triangle, which you could use for some other project later if you want to, but you're just going to line this up with this. Can you see that all? So this little area where the score line meets the top edge of the card, and then this area where the corner comes to. So you just line that up in the channel of your trimmer. We're going to start on the cardstock because you don't want to butt into a corner like that. You could start up here and come in, but I do like to say when you're cutting at a diagonal like this, it's a little bit safer to push down, cut away, and then come back in and slice. All right, so now we've got an extra piece of cardstock to use for another card later on. We're going to take and move some things around because we didn't need that to be done. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our card base. Now to put a little layer on here, we need another sheet. And so I've got a scrap of white here. Actually, I think this is the one I cut. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I pre-cut this. Here it is. There's our white. It's cut to the right size, and that is our scrap over there. Okay. So this is cut 1/8 of an inch in on all four sides, or just cut it to 4 inches by 5 1/4. So 1/4 of an inch in on two sides, and you've got your perfect layer. So we're going to trim that, but we're not going to trim it until after we have stamped the whole thing, unless you're only going to make one card. If you're only going to make one card, then you could go ahead and trim it because then you won't have a piece that you cut off later on that you don't need. Okay, I am going to use this on a second card, but I didn't need to make it if I was only making one. I hope that makes sense. So let's keep that. Let's also bring this in because we're going to do some little speckles on that. And then we've got some layer pieces. So these are going to go together like this. And let's move our trimmer out of the way. I caught a little question coming through. Patty H asked the new demonstrator order. If you order over 125, will it just add on to the 75? No, that's why the fine wording or whatever, the details of the kit always say up to. You can't actually go over, the system won't allow it. So if you're going to get the starter kit, you go up to $125 worth of product, so you can be a little under, but you can't go over. Hope that answers your question. And I will chat about that a little bit later too. So let's go on to some stamping, because we love stamping. Stamp your art out, right? Okay, here's our ink pads. We're going to open it just like a compact. You just go like this, and then you see how it's hinged? You can actually slide it into the base after you've opened it all the way up. These are firm foam pads. They've got a really nice spongy surface, so you don't have to bang your stamp into it to ink it up, okay? Our older ink pads from years ago, they were a felt type pad, and yes, you did have to kind of do some pressure to get the ink on the stamp, but I'm just very lightly tapping. Rachel just remembered. All right, so there we go, Rachel. You see this? This is my Stamp and Cut and Stamp and Pierce mat, it's called. We are going to just set that underneath here, so we've got kind of a what do you call it? It's like a spongy little surface for our stamp. And why do I do that? Because we have stamps that are red rubber that already have that foam kind of cushion in the between the image and the block, so your block would go right here. There's that foam right in between there. But photopolymer or clear stamps like this do not have that, and that is the reason why it's highly encouraged to use a foamier kind of surface underneath just to give it a little cushion, but it has to be firm. You could use like a mouse pad, you could use a Stamp and Pierce mat like I'm using, and I've just got it positioned underneath my grid paper, keeping track of where it's at. A good tip that someone gave a couple videos ago was that she wraps hers in grid paper, but when I do that, I have to change it out every time because I like to have my clean paper for you guys. Okay, so we're just going to stamp, and we're going to stamp right down in the middle. And it doesn't matter, you know, which position it is. This is one of the images in our stamp set, which I forgot to show you. Poinsettia petals, however you want to pronounce it. Beautiful images. Do you see how small they look? But then look at this stamp. So the images on this case are not really quite telling of how big they really are. They are huge images, very fun, and they coordinate with the dies, which I will show you. Okay, so we've stamped that down. Now we can pick it up and we can come in with another stamp. And you're just going to take, and you're going to kind of puzzle piece them together. So I'm just putting images really, really close together. I found that when I did this more in a gappy look, where they had some space between, it wasn't quite as pretty in my mind. So here, let's zoom in a bit here. So I'm definitely putting them close together, and there's some overlap because of that, but the space didn't look good on this kind of card. So let's see, let's come in like that, and then let's come over here and do one like that. So again, you're just starting from the middle and working your way around it. And when you get to this spot, you want to kind of think ahead. You've got a couple spaces left. How best is it that you're going to angle that stamp to weave it in there, right? And again, you can have overlap. So we'll just put it right down like that. And now we have some background paper started. This is our Pool Party ink. It's kind of like a light blue, greenish color. Yeah, kind of a greenish blue. It's really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to take this out from under here. We're going to bring in both of these pieces now, and we're going to do a little bit of spattering. So let's take our little cup. It's a cup from a medicine container. And we're just going to pour a little water from my drinking cup here into the base so that we have something to dip our brush into. I'm going to be using water painters, and the water painters you can see are 3 different sizes, and 2 of them I have used. This one is wet. It's been used with water. This one has been used with water and inks because it's got a little staining to it. And then we have one that I have just kept pristine. But you can see that there's different sizes in the set of 3 water painters. When you want to fill them with water, you want to turn them the opposite way of what you think. So you're going to go in this direction, and then you can put the water in and then tighten in the opposite direction. Every person that I spoke to that has tried these things before we got that information from Stampin' Up! Was like, how do we open them when we're cranking them and cranking them? We couldn't open them, and so yeah. All right, so I've already got water in here. I could fill this. Oh, looks like I've got something else in there too. I don't. Nice, Rachel. Dirty water. We're not going to fill this with water because this is the one I love, I guess. We're just going to dip into this little thing here because I think it's going to add more water onto the paintbrush portion. And I want it kind of drippy. So let's take our grid paper. I knew I would need extra today. And I'm going to turn it this way and kind of place it up against, I've got something in front of me that's a little high. I'm going to place it up against there so that when I start spattering my ink, it's going to kind of flick over to that spot. In fact, I have to put my water there because there. Okay, now we've got a wall. All right, we're going to grab our bone folder, and we're going to grab our Wink of Stella, and we're grab our ink pad and our water painter. So here we go. Squeeze your pad. You're going to push it together like this, and that is going to bring the pad to the cover. Oops, I pushed the opposite way. I got to squeeze harder. Hang on. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if that's hard to do, you can always just use a re-inker and make a little puddle, or you could take and grab ink directly, but then you're getting water into your pad. So, you want to have a separate little pool, I guess is what I'm thinking. Yes. All right, so there we go. That's going to set right there. We're going to grab our paintbrush and get it kind of wet. And we're going to go in here and get kind of a watery little pool of color there. Okay, so that's why if I just use the water painter the water that's in the water painter, it is not going to be as dense at the end of the paintbrush. We're going to grab our bone folder. We're going to grab our paper, and actually let's do a practice run first. So we're just going to tap, and you can see little specks of red are coming out. They're tiny, but they are there, and they're working. So it's definitely ready to go. So I'm just adding little speckles of color, and they kind of come out a little more pink than red. But the reason why I wanted this was just to add a little bit of coordinating color to my designer paper that I'm making, because we do have the cherry cobbler in our card. as inks and paper and all that stuff. Okay, so there's that. So I've got some fun little speckles added in. You can see them here and there. Good morning, Jana. All right, and then, so yes, before designer paper, I think we made all of our designer papers. And then let's bring in our Wink of Stella, and this is what we did last week. So you just open up your Wink of Stella. If you want to, you can do a practice run. I'm not going to. But yeah, you just start doing the same thing. You tap it against something hard, like your bone folder. You could use a pencil. You could use the back, the handle of like a butter knife or a spoon or something hard to tap it against. And then for this one, you kind of have to angle it in the light to see if the speckles are coming on. I'm tapping a little bit harder and I'm getting bigger dots of color coming out. Okay, you can kind of hear, let's zoom in like this. So you can kind of see there's one up here, one there, there's one there. There's like some speckles in there. Do you see them? I'm looking at my face, I'm going, all right, so that's pretty much where I want it to be because I showed you how to do it and now I've got this piece and we're just going to bring that in. But yes, you would just angle cut from corner to corner and you want to make sure you're going from the right corner to the, the left upper corner to the right lower corner if you're looking at it horizontally. So we'll just grab this. Now we're going to take our cherry cobbler piece and we'll do the same thing real quick. And this one you'll be able to see the Wink of Stella a little bit better because it's a dark cardstock. And we just want little tiny shimmers all over. And you can see the big ones. Can you see the small? Yes, yes you can. See so much better with dark cardstock, right? Oh my gosh, it's really glitzy. So fun. So we'll let those dry. Okay, that's why I wanted to do those first. Now we're going to come in with that machine, the Stamp and Cut and oh, that's not the cap. The Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I know I have too many caps around here now. Rachel likes to put things away when she works. For this, we need to clean it off. Let's do that. Here, this one goes on here. This one, there's the cap. So to clean it off, just the way you would with, you know, any kind of paintbrush where you get it wet and then you run it. And if you want to, you can kind of squeeze this too, especially if there's water inside to kind of push some of that color out and through. And that's how you clean it off. We'll set that over here for now and hopefully it won't fall. There we go. Okay, next. See, now I have a clean surface again. All right, so now we're going to come in with our scraps. So we need some Granny Apple Green. We need some gold foil. And we need some white. And we're going to bring in our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. That is this big tool here. In fact, let's just move this away for a second. And let's layer up our sandwiches. So what we need for this is our, for die cutting, is our platform number 1. You can see the 1 at the top there. So then we've got number 2, that's the die adapter plate. And then we need 2 of the cutting mats, which are number 3. What I learned from Anita, remember the gal that I spoke about earlier, my sister demonstrator, is she used like Post-it note flags or Post-it notes. I can't remember exactly what she used. She might have used the same thing that I'm using. But you see how she connected her embossing piece with her die framelit so that she's embossing and cutting at the same time. So just lay them together in front of you this direction and then position them centered like that and then just stick on your Post-it tape or your sticky tape. And then you're set to go. You don't have to do 2 separate steps. So we're going to grab those pieces, put our scratchy plate down first, then we're going to put our white down. In fact, you know what? Because I'm right-handed, I'm going to go this way. Sorry, it just works better for me. All right, so we've got that on there. We need a little bit of the green. We're making room for everything on here at once so that we can try to do the whole thing. The whole thing, Okay? All right, so let's put these on as well as we can into this little space. Making the most of our paper, right? And then we have one more. Did it work? I did it the other day. I think I can get it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yay. And if you want to, use even more Post-it notes and stick them down. And then we need our leaves. So we need a leaf here. We need a leaf here. Like that. Push that a little bit. Okay, then we just place this right on top. Angle it in and then come down on top. Make sure everything's straight going in or straight enough, and then crank it through. Now, do you know that we have some paper that is, do you hear that cracking? That's normal. That's just the paper cutting. We have some paper, just a minute, let me grab it. I think they call it white velvet sheets. I'm gonna make sure I've got the name right. Snowy white velvet sheets. But I didn't think that they were white enough, so I went back to using the basic white cardstock for this. Okay, so let's grab these out of here now. See how awesome that is? So again, if you're a beginner crafter, so fun to be able to die cut pieces just like that. Just like that. So fun. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, they're all not gonna get on there perfectly. I'll figure that out later. But we've got this piece next and this piece next, and we could have done the gold at the same time, but I was a little worried that my paper on my white would shift. And I've already cut the gold. So we're set with that. There's our gold piece, oops, cut from a scrap, and our other gold piece. So the center, oops, I think, yeah, it's this one, and it was, no, it was this one. Sorry, that one and this one. This one will actually cut holes in the center, and this one will just emboss. So you could actually layer them together if you wanted to have kind of a two-tone look. This could go on top of that. You've got tiny little poinsettia flowers here, and then a couple others that are framelets that coordinate with the stamps in the set. Okay? All right. Next, we'll move our machine out of the way. Grab all these out of here. Can I show you how pretty this is up close? Oh my goodness sakes. Check out, oops, 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 zoom in, Rachel. Check out the embossing. Can you see? Maybe you can't here. Take one at a time. So they're also embossed with their leaf centers or their petal centers at the same time. Super cool. All right. We'll move our things out of the way that we don't need. We're going to bring back our grid paper and we're going to do some inking for our white pieces. So this is when I'm going to show you the difference between the snowy white velvet sheets and the basic white. Rachel likes to have a clean desk after she's done inking up things, so we're going to bring that back. I'm a neat freak. Sorry about that. A lot of you know that about me. I have a hard time with inky fingers. I'm just, you know, whatever. Okay, so we are adding, oops, I got to zoom out a bit. We are adding ink to our blending brush by just moving it around in circles like this. And then we're going to start off on the scrap paper and just make sure that we don't have too much ink on there at once. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm going to start in the center of my large white one. And if you start in the center, you'll know that if you did have any harsh color, that it's going to disappear because you are, of course, starting in the center, and we're going to cover up the center. So here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but we have like high winds outside. It's been crazy these past few days. My husband is a jogger. He runs, and he has not wanted to go out in this. It is nasty out. He says he can handle the cold, but the wind, that's another thing. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm adding this pool party color to the white because I think that it gives it more of a crisper white color when you see snowmen outside or snow or anything really, really white, a lot of people use a light blue to kind of give it that shadow effect to make it look even cooler, a cooler kind of white. So there's a little tip for those of you that are paper crafters. I think you all are. Because then when you do your next snowman and you want to do a little bit of shadow on your snowman, you just use your light blue colors to do that shadow along the outer edge. And just do the shadow on the one side of the snowman, and then it will look like it's got some depth to it. All right, so there's some more blue, and then we'll do one more with our littlest piece here. We're not going to do the leaves, although you totally could do the leaves. You could add a little bit of Granny Apple Green to the inner parts of the leaves. So you see how the veins of the leaves are going in one direction. You could start here, which is going to be the base of your leaf, and you could just add a little bit of color there so that it comes from dark to light, because this is the part that's going to be tucked under the flower, and that would be, of course, the darkest area because it would have shadow. All right. So the center of the flower has shadow because it goes inward and doesn't get as much light. Now we can layer these up. So let's take our seal adhesive, or you could use like a glue dot or something if you want to. I'm just going to use seal, make it quick for me here. And we're going to just add them together kind of off from each other. Another idea, which a lot of people do, is they take a bone folder and they curl their petals like this, so that when they put them on top of each other, they get more of a 3D effect. They get kind of an arched look. This is the white velvet paper. This is the basic white. So you can see the difference, right? There's a huge difference. This looks actually kind of dirtier. But I suppose snowy white is dirty, if you think about it, right? Okay, we'll put a little adhesive on the back side of this piece. We'll add that here, oops, like that. I'm keeping mine flat just because I want to go fast. I can never go fast enough though. Rachel always explains too much. Okay, and then we're going to grab our glue dots and we're going to add, oh, I didn't bring a take your pick or a snips over here. Hang on. Glue dots are easiest to grab when you have one of these kinds of tools. So we're just going to flick that up and off. We're going to add it right there. In fact, we'll add 2. 1, 2. That way we have a nice portion of glue there. Now, if you don't want to use that, you can use your multi-purpose liquid glue. But yes, we are going to add that to our red level. Actually, underneath our poinsettia flower. Oh my gosh, look at what I did. My leaf isn't cut right. I might have to cover that up. All right, so we're going to come in like this, and we're just going to add that underneath one side. I've got a plan. I have got a plan. Let's do more glue dots just because that's what I want to use. And we're going to add one here, and we're going to add one here. And then we're going to go like this. We're going to tuck this puppy in here so that we have that little corner covered up. Did it work? I don't know. It worked pretty well. It's not completely there, but that's okay. And then this one, we'll do the same thing, just because that's what we have. Make sure your veins are going the right way. 1, 2. Okay. And that, let's make sure it fits on here, is going to go about there. Okay, now if it goes over the edges of your cherry cobbler piece, that's okay, because this is our smallest layer on our card and it's in the center of our card. So it's totally fine. We're not going to glue it on here yet though, because there is a little thing that you want to keep in mind when you are putting this together. Let's add the flower center. Again, we'll use a glue dot. And just put that right there. Take that little guy and put it right in the middle. There's our pretty little poinsettia. Now we can throw that off to the side. Okay, next, let's assemble. So we're going to bring in our pieces. We're going to grab our bone folder, do a little bit of creasing here. Make sure we emphasize those score lines, make them nice and sharp. Then this piece is going to go onto this piece. Now if you use seal adhesive here, it's going to be difficult to get in the corner. If you use glue dots, you're going to have a little bit of a lift because glue dots do have a slight dimension to them, or they're a little bit thicker. You could do this, which is something I did when I was going really fast one day. Just put your glue on there, your adhesive on there, over some other surface like your cardstock where you're going to glue it down, or you could use your silicone sheet or something like that. Or you could just come in with this awesome glue. This is good stuff to have. And you just come in and add your lines. You can get right into those corners if you want to. Sorry, this is a fresh new one and I do not want to squeeze hard. I'm nervous. Just like that. You can get right into those corners. I've already got adhesive there, so I'm not going to do it there. And then you just squiggle it wherever you want. Do it thin though, because that adhesive is going to squeeze out if you have too much of it. We're going to turn it this way because I work with this corner first. So I'm going to line up that corner first, and then I'm going to see, as I put it down, I'm going to see how this lines up with that extra outer edge. Do you see that? There's the crease line. I'm looking at my crease line as I'm doing this, and I'm bringing it right smack down in there. Nice and neat. Let's put this piece onto here. Now you have not seen the inside of this card yet. It's kind of a little surprise. So I'm just going to layer this on top of here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to stamp our sentiment with our cherry cobbler ink. May magic and wonder bloom this holiday. We'll just stamp that centered like that. And all of you are like, Rachel, Rachel, what did you do? That's because this is going to go in here like this. So you see what I'm doing? I'm opening it up like this, and I'm kind of tucking it into that little spot. And now what I'm going to do is hold this down flat. I'm going to slide this in, and I'm going to make sure it's centered. Side to side, top and bottom, and stick it down. Your card opens like this. Boink, boink. Cool, right? Isn't that so awesome? So when Susan showed us this, I was like, I have to show everyone else. This is so clever. Let's put some seal adhesive on here, like that. And then this can go down with seal also, unless you want to, put a dimensional on there or something, pop it up. But I'm just going to put it straight down, flat down. And this is where you want to get careful, because do you see how your card opens like this? So if you put this beyond, it's not going to open all the way. So you have to watch that edge. You have to make sure that that edge is not being compromised on your card. It can go over on the edge here, just not over there. And if you want to add some more bling to it, feel free. Who doesn't want to add some rhinestones to this now? But I didn't. I'm going to keep it the same as I did on my card that I photographed, which I showed you just a few minutes ago. There's this one. So you can see not any of them are going to be exactly the same unless you get, really, really detailed about it. Let us center that again, and we're going to zoom out a bit, and then we'll open them back up so you can see them. Here's the inside, and here is the outside. Ta-da! Such a fun fold. Isn't that awesome? And so I went crazy with this fold. I really did. I have made probably 8 cards with this fold now, because it was so easy to do and such a fun outcome, right? It's a super simple card. I'm clearing things away right now because we're going to bring in some goodies that I have to show you. So On Stage introduced us to some new products. These new products are debuting pretty soon. We're going to have new catalogs. So right now we're in the July through December mini catalog, which means it ends, right? So we're going to have another mini catalog, and that's going to come out January. It debuts January 4th. The current one ends January 3rd. So let me show you the covers of those, okay? And why did I say those, Rachel? Oh my gosh. Because we not only have this catalog, let's move this too, but we have this. And I can show you the covers, but I can't show you the insides yet. And I'm apologizing in advance about that. There's some beautiful things in here, but we are not allowed as demonstrators to show the insides of the catalogs until the catalogs debut. Now, if you go to your demonstrator's house, you can certainly look, but they're not supposed to be exposed online, okay? But you can see the covers. So pretty, right? No, I didn't add bling, Diana. The bling was the Wink of Stella and the gold foil paper, but I did stay away from my rhinestoney things this time. Are you impressed? All right, so let us bring in some of our items that are new. Actually, let's do this first. So On Stage brought us a goodie that was a big, huge box. Seriously, huge box, right? See, there's my hand, there's the box. We got a few things that were shipped to us, and we, there they all are. We've got notepads, we've got pins, we've got a fun Join Stampin' Up! Brochure, we've got this beautiful exclusive grid paper that says On Stage and has a hint to some new papers. We've got, where is it? Oh, my pencils are somewhere else. We got this fun bag with a burlappy kind of base and then leather handles. And then here's new product. We got a stamp set called In the Moment. So a lot of people have been creating with this. If you Google In the Moment Stampin' Up! Or you look for it on Pinterest, you might be able to see some fun ideas made with that. Then, what else did we get, Rachel? Oh gosh, oh golly, we got a ton. People who are Silver Elite Title and higher got some goodies. We got some, they're called magazine holders. So now even more organization to our craft rooms with these guys. A little dust on there. Oh no. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. So do you see that? They say Stampin' Up! On them. And there's more hints to beautiful papers that are out there. This is like a little pencil or pen holder. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So those are gifts from Stampin' Up! We also got a couple other gifts because we attended. They did an all attendee giveaway. So we have these three things that came with our first demonstrator order that we placed after the On Stage ended. And so we got the amazing silhouettes stamp set. We've got these really fun butterfly accents. They're called brush brass butterflies, and they're super flat. And then we've got this beautiful ribbon called, there it is, white frayed ribbon. You can see the edges have that frayed look to them, and it's very soft. It's the kind of ribbon that you could wrap up in like a robe. It's, you know, just make a robe out of it. It's just so soft and so fun to feel. Okay, so now we move on to the Joyfold card versions that my upline had shared with us. So we got to make a couple make and takes at our Zoom event, and these were the ones that well, this one she made for me. So pretty, right? I got a little bit of red splatter on there. So nothing on the inside of that, but that's where I learned the fold, was from Susan. And then this one, she gave us this piece here if we were in her direct level. And so we didn't have to worry about stamping with that stamp set that a lot of people could pre-purchase. All of us could pre-purchase if we were on stage attendees. And so she had pre-stamped it. So I just sat back and watched everybody create their cards because I already had 2 of them done. So those are versions that Susan had made for me. This was just a little bit of product that we could get beforehand if we were an on-stage attendee. The denim ribbon came back. A lot of you remember the denim ribbon. Then this is a folder called the Hive 3D embossing folder. We actually could not ordered this beforehand, but it came with the suite, or it was something that we could order afterwards with that suite that we could order beforehand. So it's called the Hive embossing folder, and look at that. I didn't actually emboss with this yet, but look at the beautiful imagery that you will get with that embossing folder. Then these were a couple things that you could get beforehand, and I did not buy all the things. I knew that I had other things in mind that I wanted to do, so I didn't get that whole suite. But here we have the papers from it, and this suite is called, sorry, let me tell you, Heart and Home Suite. So you may have seen projects using these beautiful floral images and the papers and that sort of thing. The matte dots, the classic matte dots were part of that as well. Oh, I gotta show you the other side of this paper. It's really pretty paper. So we have the bees and we have wood grain. All of the back sides of all of these sheets have a white kind of wood grain look to them. How fun is that? And then we have this fresh freesia color one with those wood planks. We have this one here. Gorgeous, right? A bee theme. It's beautiful. And then this one. So these are items, these things that I'm showing you right now, you can get only if you are a demonstrator. All demonstrators can pre-order on December 1st. But on-stage attendees got to get some of these things from the mini catalog. Just some. I don't have everything yet. This is just a small sampling of stuff. But we got to get a few of these things during and after on stage. And then here's that one. So there's that. Then let's move on to one of my favorite pre-order suites that we got to get in on. Sweet Talk, it's called. And I've got some goodies here to show you. Let's start with the stamp set. This is called Sweet Conversations. It's photopolymer, so it's clear, which is great because you can line it up after you've die cut your little hearts that match. There's a tag in there. There's lots of little goodies in there. I've done like a little sampler here because we did some stuff beforehand with our team. We did a box opening party. So you can see what those dies can do. And then the paper, which comes with the suite, has some conversation hearts that you can die cut. So I'll show you that paper at the end there. And then you can make a little envelope from your envelope die. There's that one right there. And you can make a fun little envelope. So I'm sorry I'm rushing through this, but I only get Trisha for an hour. So there's that, and the Sweet Conversations stamp set. There's an embossing folder that you can get, and it's called Gingham. There it is there on vellum, and here it is on soft seafoam cardstock. So you can see the look. Let me zoom in. It's much easier to see when I zoom in because the light is closer down here. So can you see that pattern there that you're getting? It's really fun. So there's gingham. Then we have this red linen ribbon. It's called, I think it's called faux linen. Yeah, faux linen ribbon. So it's not really linen, it's faux. But it's real red, so it's that nice true red color. Easy to tie. Bling! Look at this. Oh my goodness. Iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Okay, yes, this is all debuting January 4th. Let's say you just can't stand it and you want to get this stuff sooner than later. Demonstrators, like I mentioned earlier, can get this stuff. December 1st is when everybody who's a demonstrator can pre-order from the mini catalog. And I'm assuming that the stuff I'm sharing with you, you'll be able to pre-order because there are some issues with shipping and COVID and product supply, but obviously they made this available to us. These make little boxes. Let me show ya. Here's a little box. I already decorated it with the faux linen ribbon, a little bit of the paper layered on. This is a 2 by 3 inch piece of paper. So you could literally get 6 times 4, 24 from one sheet, 24 boxes covered. So if you wanted to buy a bunch of these packages of boxes and fill them with some treats or goodies or whatever, you'd have all of those made just from one sheet. 24 from one sheet. And okay, so then here's the papers, and you can see I've already played around with them. I'm going to zoom out so you can see them a little bit better. Here's these look like little candy popsicles, sugar popsicles, and a red speckle on pink design. Then we've got this purple stripe in Highland Heather color with some really nice loud hearts on the opposite side. Then we've got these conversation hearts, which I've just already shared with you that you can die cut with your dies. And on the back side, we have this fun multilingual paper. Is that the right word? Multi-language paper. Thank you, Judy. And then we've got this one, which are the conversation heart boxes and the fun little candies coming out of them. And on the back side of that are little strips of hearts going up and down. Could do some nice borders with that. Here's some ooh la la. This is one of my favorites. It's just like loud, yummy, pretty pink and red hearts coming at you. And then we've got some fun stripes on the other side in multiple colors. These are all like candy colors. They're just, I don't know, it's pretty paper. I love it. And I love that it kind of has that kid kind of youth feel to it, right? So, and all of this candy is gluten-free. Actually, it's sugar-free too because you don't need to eat it. Okay, and then we've got the colors. So let me share with you the colors. Blushing Bride, Granny Apple Green, Highland Heather, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Real Red, and So Saffron. Two more things that I've made with it. Here's a fun little box that I got a little more elaborate with. I die cut into the box and I put some of that shimmer vellum on the inside. So you can kind of see my finger back in there. So you'd be able to see just a hint of treats inside there. Use blending brushes. Put on those iridescent jewels. Oh my gosh, they are so pretty. And popped everything up with dimensionals and stuff. So there's that. But then here is my Joyfold card that I made because I had to make a Joyfold card with it. So there is that. And I'll have directions for this and the other projects, I'm sure, in the future in my blog posts. But I can't fill it all in today's blog posts. All right, what else? What else, Rachel? We're going fast. I've got this last pile here. So let me move this pile out of the way. So yes, if you get the starter kit, and you get the starter kit now or tomorrow, you can add the cardstock, the ink pads, the dies from the annual catalog. You can add those things to your starter kit order, and you can get them at a discount on your starter kit order. So it's up to $125 worth of product for $75. These two things here, this is an embossing folder, and it pairs with these dies. So you get them together. The dies are called Bouquet of Love, and it's called the Bouquet of Love Hybrid Embossing Folder, but it's not just a folder. So be careful when you're looking at that and ordering it. It's the folder and the dies. And the way that they pair up is like this guy here can die cut the heart from that embossing folder. You've got other little elements here because there's also a stamp set, which I didn't get because I can't buy it all. It's called Love and Happiness Stamp Set. I just embossed a few of these so you can kind of see. So you can get your cardstock going one direction or the opposite direction, depending on how you put it in there, because it's a huge embossing folder and it is 3D. So the layers really come out at you when they're embossed. Now, do you see that outline of the heart there? So I would recommend die cutting before embossing. So if you're going to do this trick here where you have these two separate pieces, grab your paper, die cut it first where you want your heart to be, then slip that paper in here. Whether you need to do it in two parts is another story. You could put it in like this, you know, do one, and then after you've embossed that, then do the other. Or you could try to put it in there together, use the Post-it note trick to hold them together, and then emboss. okay? Because I did it the opposite way and it flattened it out, and I should have known better. I've done that so many times. You die cut first and then you emboss. This is another bundle that you'll be able to get your hands on come January 4th or December 1st if you're a demonstrator. Rainbow of Happiness bundle. Some fun goodies in here. Let me show you what I did with these dies really quickly. So you can see that you can die cut some beautiful little rainbow strips, or you can cut rainbows like that. Of course, this one here will create a little tiny rainbow if you want to get super detailed. And then you can have like the negative space. You can have like a window by die cutting these two things here, or even that one. It creates a window, doesn't it, from that little white label. This is a border one. It just looks like this, and it does a border, so it doesn't cut at the top. You've got cloud pieces. How did I get that multicolor effect? Well, because there's going to be papers. So now I'm going to introduce to you what this catalog means. So celebration is a time coming up where you earn free products. We're doing it twice a year now. So in January and February, every $50 that you purchase gets you a pick from here. There are second level picks in here, which means it's a $100 order. But this one is the $50 pick. So this is level 1, and you can see the fun papers that are in here. You've got illustrations on here that look like a second grader or a first grader did them. Just so cute. It brings me back to my teaching days. I love the designs. Just so fun. Look at that one. Sunshines, rainbows, clouds. Do you see this one? There's a cloud punch. I don't have it yet because we couldn't pre-order it, but there's a cloud punch that will punch those out. Polka dots, bright colors. So cheerful and spring-like, right? And then do you see this last sheet? There's where I got that rainbow from. So you can die cut right into your rainbow piece. So this is a free earned product during celebration. Here's another free product at the $50 level. It's 12 by 12 paper, and it is called the Daffodil Afternoon paper. So I'll just quickly go through. Here's the back sides, the front sides, A side and B side, right? Ooh, this one would make like 6 different card fronts if you cut it this way and then cut these this way. So you got 6 different card fronts with that. You could make 12 cards from one pack just by using up 2 pieces of paper instantly. Got green hearts, and then we got daffodils here with kind of a, I think that's is that pale papaya? So we have basic black, crushed curry, daffodil delight, evening evergreen, flirty flamingo, mint macaron, mossy meadow, pale papaya, pear pizzazz, very vanilla. There's our beautiful intense daffodils, monochromatic with a black fun design there. Black paper with fun little elements coming out. And then how fun is that? So there we've got another free pick at the $50 level. We have the Awesome Otters stamp set. So cute. So if you want to stamp some little otters, there you go. You are utterly awesome. That's going to be a hard one to say 10 times fast. Then we have this at the $100 level that we were able to pre-earn as demonstrators. We have a designer paper pack of paper with a matching stamp set. So let me introduce you to the Friendly Hello Level 2 celebration goodie. This one looks like it was stamped with images directly from the stamp set. We kind of have a collage look. On the back side of that are the beautiful pool party florals, white on pool party color. Here's another design. That is petal pink, this one here, and then multicolors. Then we have the fresh freesia with black and white, and some petal pink on that side. We have some petal pink with black and white, and some fresh freesia on that side. Then we have this one, which actually coordinates with, where did those pencils go, Rachel? There they are. This was a gift given to attendees with our swag bag. Those pencils have the same design. So isn't that fun? I have coordinating pencils with my papers. This one is my favorite sheet ever. Well, I don't know about ever, but I do love it very, very much. We have a leaf punch coming. Oh my goodness. We have a leaf punch. And this is my favorite color, Granny Apple Green. And then we have this one. And you see this? If you take this stamp set, you can stamp lining these up and make your own little black outline around a lot of these and just accent it up and do some fun designs. My gosh, Rachel, you shared a lot today. Too much, you shared too much. I couldn't hold it back from you all. This is important stuff, right? We have a winner from last week's commenters, after live commenters, and that winner gets to pick from, sorry, I have 2 packs of pearls in there. You get to pick from either the Pretty Flowers embossing folder, the Brush Metallic, or the Basic Pearls. And along with that, you will get a blending brush. So our last week's winner from the After Live comments, let me bring that up real quick. Rosalind Pierce, congratulations to you. Reach out to me though. You'll want to use my email address and contact me. Don't reply in this thread. I sometimes don't get to the comments. Most of the time I do, but I won't see your comment in here. You want to reach out to me via email if you are a winner. So on that note, let us also go to what is going to be the other prize for today, Rachel. Yay! Pre-order stuff. So you're going to get a half a pack of this, cut down to 6x6 pieces. So it'll be cut in half, and you'll get two portions of that. So a half a pack of the Sweet Talk designer paper, and you'll also get 60 of these gems. So you'll get 3 rows of the iridescent rhinestone jewels if you are a winner today. If you live out of the US, I can send you a tutorial, but I can't send you product. The tutorials are at $15 value though, so hopefully that will float your boat. All right, let us go. I'm gonna go. You guys stay there. I'm just gonna go over to the live stream here so I can see if Trisha has called out any winners. My comments are scrolling really fast here. Oh my gosh, I guess I haven't been over onto this tab for a while because they're just zooming through. And I don't see the winners called yet. But Trisha's going to pick 2 winners. Again, getting the starter kit today or tomorrow lets you in on the seasonal sale, but you don't have to. You can still get that $75 value kit through the end of November. So if you don't have dies or cardstock or inks on your wish list for your starter kit, you can certainly take your time, figure out what you want to get, and get your starter kit before the end of November. And then once you do that, then you can pre-order with the rest of us on December 1st. Fun times. But today's winners are Tammy McFarland and Valerie O'Donoghue. I think that's how you say it, O'Donoghue? I think so. And Tammy, she just got the starter kit just a while ago. Just like, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. But hello, what a way to, that's awesome. So she's got a fun starter kit coming, and she also gets those prize goodies. Congratulations to both of you. Remember to reach out via my email so that I can give you those prizes through the mail. What else do I want to tell you? If you are interested in any of the products that I shared today, again, there is a description in my video that you can go to, and there's going to be a link to my blog post so you can see this video there. You can also see the measurements again, photos of the projects, supplies that are visual that you can click on. If you have a demonstrator already, buy from them, support them. If you're a demonstrator yourself, buy from yourself, keep yourself active because it's fun. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share. I think that's it. Oh my gosh, I'm a few minutes over. I'm sorry, Trisha. Thank you for sticking with me, everybody. I think that is all I needed to tell you. Please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to my channel yet. I try to go live every week, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Central Time, and I am planning to go live next week right before Thanksgiving because I just have so much to share, and I had to postpone what I was going to do this week and push it to next week. So I'm anxious to show you another idea. I hope you come join me on, what's that date going to be? November 24th at 11 a.m. Central Time. We will see you then. In the meantime, I want you all to go and say it with me. Stamp your art out. Bye-bye.